everybody. How are y'all doing? Oh my gosh, this energy is just like, it's so wild. It really is so wild. And I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about the eclipse because it is such potent energy for us to ride on the magical dragon. And because that's essentially what this eclipse, the eclipse is the myths come from the Sanskrit, the dragons. Okay, I guess before we go into anything, it first is helpful to understand, hey guys, hi, what an eclipse actually is. So, an eclipse, and it can be a lunar eclipse, such as this one, which is in Leo, or it can be a solar eclipse, are like a megawattage new and full moon. So, but what an eclipse is when those luminaries, meaning the sun and the moon, actually join the nodal axis, which what the nodal axis is from our position here on Earth. It is the path of the moon's orbit around our planet. When that contacts, you see, so it makes contacts with the ecliptic, which is the Earth's orbit around the sun. And so what that actually is symbolic of is the moon. It's the place where the moon and the sun actually join on their orbits, on their path. So it's where spirit aligns with soul. It's actually embodiment. And this is why it is so incredible and so potent, is because, isn't that what so much of life, what we are wanting to do is merge the consciousness, which is what the sun symbolizes, with the unconscious. And I'm pointing to the front and the back. A girlfriend of mine, another fellow astrologer, Elena Beam, she taught me this, and this is from yoga, from the Ajna chakra. Every chakra has planets that it rules, and the Ajna chakra, which is our third eye, the place in which we are all knowing, the front, is the consciousness, is ruled by the sun, and the back, is the moon, meaning all of our memories, all of the unconscious, what we don't see, it's in the back of our head. And so what we're trying to do is merge these 2 points together. And that's what happens with an eclipse, is it's like a huge portal and opening in order for us to break through the patterns of our past. These subconscious patterns, our family patterns that are in, or programming even, if you want to think of it that way, that we carry with us. And the subconscious, whatever's going on in the back of our mind, if we're not aware of it, it's what actually rules our life. And we'll call it fate. We'll be like, why is this, for example, all of my patterns have been coming up for me. And I'm like, why am I going through this again? And so this is an opportunity for me to see. And this is an opportunity for all of us to see. So that's actually what an eclipse is. And this eclipse that we're having right now is the second part of the series. Eclipses happen in series. The nodes actually stay in signs for about 18 months. So the first one that we had was back in, one that this is a part of, the other Leo eclipse, was back in August. So a good way to work with this energy is start thinking about to what was happening in August, because that was part 1. And now this is part 2. So in a storyline, in an arc, we're actually, you might be remembering situations or people. Where to find Lady? Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Okay. Yeah, what was happening during August is now being revisited for us. So I'm going to pull out my notes because I had a lot that I really wanted to share with you guys specifically on this. And yeah, so that I can keep it. So I'm entitling, like if I could give this an eclipse a name, I'm calling it Wild Beauty. You know, it's in the sign of Leo, meaning that is the moon is, and this is on the 31st, by the way, the actual exact date of the eclipse is on the 31st, and the moon will be in the sign of Leo, and the sun will be in the sign of Aquarius, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So even though this eclipse, yes, it's a Leo eclipse, and it will be bringing up themes of Leo energy, this Leo is ruled by the sun, and where is the sun but in the sign of Aquarius? So it's really about merging these two, you know, these dualities, this place of being the creators, being the manifestors of our life, and really coming from our heart, you know, and shining our light, shining our brilliance onto the whole world. And yet Aquarius is the part of us that is more about the group. You know, it's about humanity, and it's also future oriented, you know. So this eclipse is really a portal towards our most liberated self, our most wild beauty, like how we shine in the world. And Venus is actually very much tied into this eclipse as well. Venus, the love goddess, is in Aquarius, and she's on the South Node, which the South Node is the part of the, remember that connection that we were speaking about, the orbit of the moon, where it connects with the path of the ecliptic, is descending. It's going down into spirit. So meaning whatever relationships, because Venus rules relationships, whatever sort of values, how we feel about beauty, how we feel about love, our money, about self-love, the relationships that we have to our friends, our tribe. There's a spiritualizing quality that's happening. So whatever is already manifest, meaning it's real, it's happening now. It's wanting to become more spiritualized. There is a letting go and a releasing of the way things look, you know, in the material world, and looking at it from a soul's point of view. Like if we could actually, if when we do connect with our highest self from up here and say, ooh, you know, and let go of the way that we think it has to be, you know, and breaking free from the chains that bind us, that keep us stuck in patterns of love, in patterns of how we relate to our bodies, in our relationships, to our relationship to money. All of this is a huge opportunity to release. And by releasing, what we're doing is we're making space to bring in the new, to upgrade, to up level, you know, but we can't bring in more new stuff if we're holding on to the past. So something that's really curious about all of this too is Venus is actually invisible right now, which is another symbol of this spiritualizing. It's like, what are we not seeing? You know, it's the hidden, you know, and even though, yes, Venus, when we think of Venus, she's a very like beautiful, you know, and, you know, about like the senses and sensuality, like those things we can touch and feel. But right now, like when you go out in the sky, or you look out, I'm sorry, in the sky, whether it's at night or in the morning, she's invisible because she is, we just had that Venus star conjunction in Capricorn. So whenever Venus is really close to the sun is actually, it's so bright that it is purifying. It is blazing anything that is not, you know, that is not in alignment with our heart. There is an expression for this. It's Gary Caton, another one of my teachers, taught me that she's in the throne room of the king, meaning she's actually speaking like the goddess and the king, you know, like the highest of high. That she's in that throne room. She's receiving the mandate from heaven of what needs to be released right now. You know, how can we bring more consciousness, more spirituality, um, you know, to our relationships, to our, you know, to be in harmony with all of life. Um, and in doing that, there is more fertility, meaning we're able to create and really nourish new life. Ceres is another goddess who's really tied into this eclipse. So it's about nourishing, how we nourish our creativity, how we nourish our inner child, and also how controlling, you know, the myth of Ceres, which I won't go into this right now, but you know, you can look her up. Ceres, another name for Ceres is Demeter. She's the earth goddess. She is the goddess of grain, and it's her, you know, her myth is the relationship that she has with her daughter Persephone. And from that myth, we actually get the 4 seasons. But so themes of control and letting go, protecting our earth, protecting our planet, protecting our children, and the fears that we have of not being able to provide for our children, the earth not providing for us, these are all coming up. And with Venus being in the underworld, she's having this conversation with Persephone, with the, you know, with the part of us that is innocent. And when you're in the underworld, what is happening is you are really in the realm of the instincts, in really moving from that place and bringing light to those instincts. So what's been coming up and being super helpful for me and for other people is working with animal spirits, paying attention to, because animals are very instinctive, right? And it helps us. I mean, it's basically, this is part of, if you want to get through this portal, which this is a portal, this is like in those science fiction movies where you can travel through space like 10, you know, like past the speed of light or whatever, like to upgrade into the next level. That's what this is. But there's like, you have to have the key. Like you have to have, you know, what's going to get you through it safely, you know, is getting in contact with our animal self, really making friends and not pushing it down and shaming it. This is the shadow. This is shadow work. There's so many other symbols around the actual chart of this eclipse that has to do with this. But really doing shadow work. If you have a practice of shadow work, if you know, people that work with psychology and help you to start to reveal the patterns of the unconscious, this is crucial. This is what will potentially hold, can hold us back from taking that leap to the next level. And so, yeah, going back to the instincts, is a lot of times we try to shame, what feels instinctually good, because it's our animal self, right? Like, well, we're evolved creatures, but the thing is at the end of the day, we're living on planet Earth and we are in the physical, so working with animal spirits is going to help a lot to release, just paying attention to, what sort of animals tend to be in your awareness, what animals are coming to you to help you heal and help you through this process. And, with it's symbolic, animals carry symbolic messages. So open up a dialogue with what message do you have to share with me? What is the lifestyle that this animal chooses to live? What are its prey and or if it is if it is a prey, what are the predators? And really paying attention to that. What sort of foods does this animal eat? How does it move? All of these sort of things will inform us as to how we can move forward through this. Something also that's really helpful is knowing, so that's, yeah, Venus conjunct the South Node in Aquarius. Um, Knowing your sun sign, because again, the moon is in Leo of this eclipse. So, and it's how we shine in the world, our sun sign. And even though there's so much more to our chart, we have all of the planets, our voices within us. But it is our sun that is essentially the light, the gift that we bring to this planet. So start thinking about that. Like, what is my sun sign? If you don't know your sun sign, look it up, and ask, like, how do I embody that? So let's see. Our sun is where we are free to play as children. It's what we are super conscious of about ourselves. This is our sun. And it also, for health, it rules our heart, and every sign rules a certain part of the body. So knowing what your sign is and what part of the body that rules, which I'll go through that now, you paying attention to that body part will actually empower you. So Aries rules the head and all of the arteries, the blood vessels. So, you could bring awareness to your face, to your hair. You could rock like awesome like makeup, do your eyebrows up real special, like really bring awareness to this your head first, like I am here, like that's Aries. And all of the arteries and the veins, which is the system of the body that actually distributes the blood, right? Our life force is, our spirit is literally pumped out through our heart and into the veins. Taurus, the part of the body is your throat, your neck, your shoulders, and your hormonal system, because it's ruled by Venus. So it's your sex hormones, your thyroid, even blood sugar, the pancreas. So getting neck massages, doing yoga poses, perhaps that, shoulder stance or plow, stretching your neck, doing shoulder moves like this, working that, releasing that is really helpful. Gemini, it's the lungs and our hands and our arms and how we reach out and connect with people. Geminis are their keyword is I exchange. They're exchanging information, and how do we communicate with others? By this is we branch out and we make connection with our hands. When we meet someone for the first time, we're shaking hands and saying, hey, I'm so-and-so and you're so-and-so. This is an exchange of information, and it's a chance to meet the mirror, as everybody in our life is a mirror of us. So working with the breath, working with your arms, just even bringing, massaging your arms, massaging your hands is going to wake up your Gemini essence. Anything that we do in the body, it's going to wake up, that part of our consciousness as well, and that part of, that sign. Cancer, it's your tummy, you are the mommies, the pregnant women, it's the symbol of the mother and the baby, and how we nourish and feed each other, whether it's actual food or emotional containment and nourishment. You are the creative incubators of the zodiac, and so bringing awareness to our tummy, where we gestate. It's where we hold new life. Also the womb and the breasts, like we create life from our womb. Our creative energy is there, and we feed with our breasts, our children. We nourish people from this place, from where we are mama. So um, taking care of those parts of the body will wake up the Cancerian energy. Leo, your hair, darling, hence why I did my hair. I was so inspired. I said, I got to do something different. Like, this so much chaos, you know, like has been happening and creative soil. And I was like, I want something new, you know? So your hair, go get a haircut. There's been other people that are saying, you know, stuff about, oh, you know, beware of changing your hair and stuff like this during the eclipse because you may not like it afterwards. Um, I don't know. I don't agree with that, but you know, trust your instincts on it. You know, maybe it's getting a scalp massage, you know, and also the spinal column in your heart. So I'm getting a note here on low battery. I don't have my charger. I'm just going to go till it runs out. I wonder, are there any questions that you guys are having? I want to make space for that. Yeah, so Leo, again, your hair, your heart, do cardio, spinal column, or even just put your hand over your heart, connecting with that place of supreme sovereignty where we are all kings and queens of our life, where we look out over our kingdom and we sit upon the throne. And from this place of where we are in control. And I think control sometimes can get like a bad rap, you know, but meaning where it's the sacred I am